The story begins with a father, Yuichi Kimura, sitting sadly by his son's hospital bed. His son is in a coma after being pushed from the top floor of a supermarket by a stranger. The heartbreaking sight fills Kimura with anger, and he vows to take revenge. Determined to find the person responsible, Kimura boards a bullet train traveling from Tokyo to Kyoto. On the train, Kimura encounters a young woman who calls herself the Prince. She seems harmless with an innocent smile and a calm demeanor, but beneath her friendly appearance lies a cold-blooded assassin. Without warning, the prince stuns Kimura by electrocuting his neck, leaving him unconscious. Meanwhile, another assassin named Ladybug boards the same train. Ladybug's mission is to retrieve a suitcase from the train. However, the suitcase is guarded by two other assassins, Lemon and Tangerine. These two are also tasked with protecting the son of a notorious Yakuza leader known as the White Death. Lemon and Tangerine, despite being skilled killers, spend most of their time bickering like siblings. As Lemon and Tangerine chat, they fail to notice Ladybug sneaking past them and stealing the suitcase.
This is too easy.
You're overthinking it.
When they finally realize it's missing, they split up and frantically search the train to recover it. Elsewhere on the train, Kimura regains consciousness. The prince reveals a shocking truth. She was the one responsible for harming Kimura's son. She even admits to hiring another assassin to carry out the attack. Furious but helpless, Kimura is forced to listen as the prince explains her plan.
I want you to go in there and kill Wataru.
At that moment, she mentions that a secret suitcase on the train belongs to the White Death, and she proposes they work together to retrieve it. She also shares the White Death's dark backstory. Once a loyal member of the Yakuza, he betrayed and killed his leader, taking over the organization and turning it into one of the most feared criminal groups in Japan. Meanwhile, Lemon and Tangerine return to their seats, but are horrified to find the son of the White Death dead, blood streaming from his eyes. Panic sets in as they realize they failed to protect both the suitcase and the Yakuza leader's son. In another part of the train, an assassin called the Wolf boards with revenge on his mind. The Wolf's past is tragic. On his wedding day, his bride and all the guests were poisoned and died suddenly. No! The signs of their deaths match those of the White Death's son, leading the Wolf to believe it's the work of the same killer. While searching for answers, the Wolf encounters Ladybug and mistakenly assumes he is the culprit behind his wife's death. Fueled by rage, the Wolf attacks, stabbing a knife into Ladybug's chest. Luckily, Ladybug is wearing protective gear, so the blade doesn't hurt him. The two engage in a chaotic fight, but in a twist of fate, the Wolf accidentally throws his knife and it bounces back, stabbing him in the chest.
Mi corazón. What the... Who are you?
At the first stop, Ladybug rushes to leave the train. His mission was simple: steal the suitcase and get out. But as he approaches the door, he spots Lemon standing guard, blocking his way. Realizing he can't leave unnoticed, Ladybug quickly backs away. In his retreat, he accidentally bumps into someone wearing a giant doll costume. To his surprise, the mysterious figure snatches the suitcase. Ladybug, acting fast, manages to grab it back. With no chance to exit the train, Ladybug calls his boss Maria to report the situation. Over the phone, Ladybug explains to Maria that he was indeed present at the Wolf's wedding but insists he wasn't the one who poisoned the guests. After ending the call, Ladybug hides the suitcase and approaches Lemon for a chat. However, Lemon believes Ladybug was the one who killed the White Death's son, leading to a heated fight. Ladybug tries to keep things quiet, mindful of the other passengers on board. In the scuffle, Ladybug punches Lemon hard in the face, knocking him unconscious. Afterward, Ladybug goes to retrieve the suitcase, but is startled when a snake known as the Boomslang slithers out of it. Terrified, Ladybug leaves the snake alone and runs off. Realizing that Tangerine has recognized his disguise, Ladybug decides to outsmart him by giving his hat and glasses to another passenger, hoping to throw him off. Meanwhile, Tangerine and Lemon receive word that the White Death's men will inspect the suitcase and his son at the next stop. Determined to fix things, Tangerine gets off the train to report the situation, while Lemon stays behind, making the White Death's son appear alive by propping him up and pretending everything is fine. Elsewhere on the train, Kimura and the prince discover the suitcase hidden by Ladybug. Working together, they open it and plant a bomb inside.
If the gun doesn't kill him, the case will.
At the same time, Ladybug crosses paths with Tangerine, leading to an intense fight in the train's kitchen. During their battle, Tangerine gets a call reminding him that the White Death's men will check the suitcase at the next stop. Seeing an opportunity, Ladybug proposes they team up to face the White Death's men together. When the train reaches the next station, Tangerine and Ladybug get off, carrying a decoy suitcase to distract the White Death's men. But Ladybug, acting recklessly, accidentally presses a button on the suitcase. As a result, the suitcase pops open, exposing its empty contents. This reveals Lennon and Tangerine's failure to protect the real suitcase. Back on the train, Ladybug manages to kick Tangerine off, but Tangerine, refusing to give up, climbs back into the train through a window. Meanwhile, Lemon encounters the prince and Kimura. Using his sharp intuition, Lemon realizes the suitcase is in their hands.
I found my diesel.
With her innocent demeanor, the prince lies, claiming she was a victim and that Kimura had stolen the suitcase. Enraged, Lemon shoots Kimura and drags his body into the bathroom to hide it. While hiding Kimura's body, Lemon noticed a gun inside the prince's bag. Realizing he'd been tricked, Lemon confronted her. Cornered, the prince shot Lemon and stashed his body in the bathroom alongside Kimura. At the same time, the mysterious doll figure reappeared and removed its oversized head. Inside was a woman named the Hornet, another assassin. It was revealed that the Hornet was the one who poisoned the guests at the Wolf's wedding and killed the White Death's son. Shortly after, Ladybug finally came face to face with the Hornet. At that moment, the Hornet attempted to inject poison into Ladybug, but he acted quickly and grabbed the antidote to save himself.
And it stings, bitch!
Oh,
What do you think, bitch?
Karma is a bitch.
In the struggle, Ladybug managed to inject the poison into the Hornet's arm instead. Meanwhile, Tangerine was searching for Ladybug but stumbled upon the lifeless bodies of Lemon and Kimura in the bathroom. Overwhelmed with grief and anger, he vowed to avenge Lemon's death. Not long after, Tangerine ran into the prince.
Happy to see you. Please help me.
She pretended to be a helpless and innocent young woman, hoping to trick him.
Just help me.
All right, calm down. Get off or do what the fuck you like. You're free to go. Yeah.
However, just as she was about to leave, Tangerine noticed the Dizzle logo on her back. That small clue revealed the truth. She was the one who had killed Lemon. Furious, Tangerine tried to kill her, but Ladybug arrived just in time and unknowingly protected the prince.
What are you doing, you belly?
Fooled by her innocent act, Ladybug accidentally killed Tangerine during the commotion.
We're getting off this train.
At the next station, Ladybug tried to convince the prince to leave the train.
Kid, come on.
However, she pretended her bag was stuck in the seat, delaying their departure. Ladybug, unable to leave her behind, climbed back onto the train, and the journey to Kyoto continued. While on the train, Ladybug and the prince encountered Kimura's father, known as the Elder.
You're creeping me out.
As they talked, Ladybug was suddenly bitten by the boomslung snake, which had reappeared. He quickly went to the restroom, caught the snake, and locked it in a cabinet. During this time, the elder revealed some shocking news. He informed them that all of the prince's men had been killed by his own allies. Terrified by the revelation, the prince ran away in panic. Once Ladybug dealt with the snake, he returned to his seat and continued the conversation with the elder. At that moment, the elder shared his tragic past, explaining why he held a grudge against the White Death. Long ago, the White Death had massacred the Yakuza and their families, wiping out everyone. The elder lost his wife during this brutal attack, but he managed to save his son, Yuichi Kimura. Now the elder was determined to take revenge on the White Death and asked Ladybug to help him.
Okay.
Later, they found Kimura and Lemon, who were both still alive. Although injured, they were conscious. Lemon, however, was furious to learn that Tangerine had been killed. While Kimura and Lemon were being treated, tensions flared between Lemon and Ladybug. Lemon blamed Ladybug for Tangerine's death, while Kimura angrily reminded Lemon that he had been the one to shoot him earlier. The argument grew heated until the elder stepped in, urging everyone to focus on the bigger threat, the White Death, who would be waiting for them at the final stop. When the train arrived at Kyoto Station, the White Death and his men were already there. Ladybug stepped out to hand over the suitcase and was immediately taken hostage. Meanwhile, inside the train, the White Death confronted the prince. Surprisingly, the prince revealed that she was his daughter, a child he had neglected and ignored. Filled with resentment, the prince declared her intention to kill the White Death herself. But the White Death was no ordinary man. He was a skilled and ruthless killer, not someone who could be defeated so easily, especially not by the prince. Showing no hesitation, the White Death ordered his men to search the train and eliminate anyone still alive. Before leaving, he turned to Ladybug and revealed a shocking truth. He was the one who orchestrated everything, bringing all of them together on the bullet train. It was revealed that the White Death had a plan all along. He gathered all the assassins on the train and even sacrificed his own son, hoping they would kill each other. His ultimate goal was revenge against the person he believed had killed his wife, a male assassin named Carver. However, the White Death mistakenly thought Ladybug was Carver. As the White Death aimed his gun at Ladybug, his men opened the suitcase, but unknown to them, the prince had planted a bomb inside. As a result, the suitcase exploded, triggering a massive blast that sent both Ladybug and the White Death flying across the train carriage. At the same time, the elder and his allies seized the opportunity to launch their attack on the White Death's men. Meanwhile, Lemon was tasked with driving the train. As the chaos unfolded, Ladybug eventually found his way to the train's control center, where Lemon was desperately trying to figure out how to stop the train. Both of them looked utterly confused, having no idea how to bring the speeding train to a halt. Elsewhere, the Elder and the White Death finally came face to face. The two fought fiercely, their long-standing hatred driving every move. Blades clashed, and the fight grew more intense with each passing moment. Just as the White Death prepared to deliver the fatal blow to the Elder, Ladybug and Lemon managed to stop the train. However, the sudden halt caused the train to veer off track, crashing violently. In the end, the White Death met his demise not at the hands of the Elder, but from a shot fired by the prince.
The Carver! I want the Carver! I hired the Carver! Hey!
However, her victory was short-lived, as the prince was hit by a speeding truck and killed instantly.
I am the White Death!
The film concludes with Ladybug, Kimura, and the elders surviving the ordeal. As they caught their breath, a power pole suddenly fell, nearly crushing Ladybug, but in a twist of fate, Maria appeared just in time to save him. In a final reveal, the driver of the truck that hit the prince turned out to be none other than Lemon, who had also survived the crash.